Sir.
Yes, Alex. Give me a sec. Oh, Fair, you're here. Just give me a sec, okay? I'm going to begin.
No, me there ask about some about the paper.
All right, give me a sec, Alex. Okay?
All right.
All right, good evening, everybody. I'm sure you know that this semester is coming to an end in another 2 weeks or so. All right, so Alex, go ahead with your question now. What were you asking?
So me there ask 27 for ask about the paper during the class time.
You were asking about the research paper, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to speak
exactly.
to it.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak to it. Just give me a sec. I want to speak about the exam paper first. So I'm going to tell you what is coming on section B in the exam. So this is where I recommend that you write. This is the essay part of the paper. So you're going to get 5 questions to do 3. At least that's what I said. Where did I put it? Did I say final exam here? I can't do is to go here. Okay, here. Sent. All right, so you know we're going to get 20 multiple choice question, but in section B, you're getting 5 questions to do any 3. Question 1 speaks to international business, globalization, and internationalization. I hope you guys are writing it because I'm not going to repeat this, all right? And because I shouldn't be telling you this, exactly what is coming on the exam. So this is a one-time offer. All right, so international business, globalization and internationalization, globalization of markets, globalization of production, and arguments for and against globalization. We got that, right? Can somebody repeat what I just said?
Sir, I record me have to run recording. So.
No, you cannot record me, sir. You can't record somebody without their permission. That's illegal. Don't you know that? The class is being recorded. All you need to do is to watch the recording. You cannot record me, sir. You need my
Oh, me
permission.
can't. All right, sir.
And I'm not giving you permission
easy.
to, right. So all you need to do is to watch the recording. You don't have permission to record me. Next thing I end up on social media. So just
All right,
listen
sir.
and write. So I'm going to repeat the last time: international business, globalization and internationalization, globalization of markets, globalization of production, and finally, arguments for and against globalization. That's for question 1. So I don't tell you exactly what it is, but I give you some idea. For question 2, are we ready for question 2? Tell me if you're ready for question 2. Hello? Are you guys ready for question 2?
So, sir, let me just repeat what you said just to confirm what I heard, if that's okay with you.
Yes, you can repeat, but I'm not going to confirm or deny anything because I'm not going to say it for a third time. But you can repeat. What you don't have, your classmate might have.
International business, globalization of market production, arguments for and against international trade globalization.
All right, so your classmates can deny or confirm.
Okay.
Can anybody confirm or deny or correct or whatever? I'm not repeating myself. You can watch the recording to get the, why this thing is saying this. All right, nobody's repeating anything. All right, question 2. Question 2 is about culture. So we're going to look at things like everything relating to culture. Everything relating to culture, like cultural diffusion, cultural imperialism. We spoke about ethnocentricity.
Yeah, whatever. Culture.
Can you mute your mic? Are you talking to me when you say whatever, or you're speaking generally?
No, I'm speaking to my son. Sorry.
Yeah, so mute your mic, please. All right, so I said cultural diffusion, cultural imperialism, and everything relating to culture and international business, like the benefits or the pros and cons of how culture affects international business. That's question 2. As I said, I'm not speaking specifically to the question, but giving you a sense, some sense of what is happening. Question 3, you need to look intimately at the various theories, especially the national competitive advantage theory, and look at what are some of the things that delay trade or some of the things that restrict trade. And that's a topic that we are yet to discuss. All right. And what are some of the things that can or do restrict trade? Can somebody repeat what I said about number 3? Okay, nobody wishes to repeat. All right. Question 4.
Sir,
Yes.
various national competitive advantage theories.
I never said various national. There's only one national competitive advantage theory.
I guess, okay, national competitive advantage theory.
I said you need to look up at various types of international trade theory, especially the national competitive advantage theory. Anything else? What else did you hear?
What are some of the things that delay trade or restrict trade?
Okay, fair enough. Question 4, looking at factors that affect modes of entry to a foreign market. And looking, for example, at some of the advantages and disadvantages of these, as well as the meanings of the types of modes of entry. All right, we have that. Can somebody repeat question 4 for me?
Factors that affect mode of entry to a foreign market, advantage, disadvantage, as well as the meaning of types of mode of entry.
Yes, that's what you hear. Question 5, and finally, exchange rate regimes, especially in Jamaica, the exchange rate regime in Jamaica, and that's something that we haven't done yet. Alternatives of foreign exchange rate regimes. And how the positive and negative effects of exchange rate changes and how the negatives can be corrected or dealt with. All right, can somebody repeat for me? I am listening. Can someone repeat for me? Can someone repeat for me? No one is going to repeat? Okay. All right. I suppose you heard it for yourself, so please remember, do not ask me these things again. I will not repeat them at no other point in time, okay? You can watch the recording if you want to be updated. All right, so that's it for the final exam. As I said before, you're going to get 20 questions, and they're going to come from all the 20 multiple choice questions from all the modules or all the units on the course outline. And I just told you that the essay section will have 5 questions for you to do any 3. And I think your turnaround time is 24 hours. But please remember, if you plagiarize, it's not only me, the college will award you 0. All right. So this is why I've been teaching you. And tonight I'm going to touch on it. And I'm happy Alex mentioned about approaching the essay and all of that. So I'm going to spend some detailed time walking you through how to actually do your paper. I started looking at it. And I'm going to do some additional, provide you with some additional information about how to write your academic paper, so that, especially for the final exam, you don't end up getting 18 out of 20 for the multiple choice, but failing the essay section and ending up failing the exam itself. Because if you plagiarize, that is what will happen. All right, where do I begin? All right, so I do remember us talking about, so I'm going to spend some time before I even get into any lecture or anything like that, speaking specifically about the research paper, because let me just go into,
Sir,
yes?
that's a quick question. So
Uh-huh.
so far for this course, we only have the final exam and the essay, right? Outstanding.
So you're right. So far for the course, I'm going to give you an MCQ, a multiple choice, before you go into the exam. All right, and it's going to be really a test, a kind of test for when you go into the exam, and I'm going to grade it.
5%.
It's going to be
5%.
no 10%. 5 would be too low. 10%. Okay, yeah. So it will kind of give you a sense of where you are and where you probably need to do some additional work. All right, so let me go to the tutorial paper, the coursework paper, and I'm going to share screen and let's talk a little bit about it. All right, in terms of how to approach it. So we're going to spend some time looking at that because I can sense some sense of anxiety among some persons. So let's address that. All right, so here is, remember we said that you're going to, all right, so let's start from here. It says, working in pairs, select a theme. These are the themes, 1 to 4. From the following list and prepare a research paper on this theme. The final research paper must be typewritten double spaced with 1-inch margins all around. The preferred font is 12 pitch. Each should be submitted in a folder, well, not a folder. Question on, no, I need to change this. Each should be uploaded to Turnitin at the designated time. All right. Research papers should be no more than 10 pages long. It doesn't mean that it's going to be 10 pages long. All right. No, I think you guys not going to give me so much words. Let's say 1,000 to 2,000 words in length, excluding cover page and reference. It values 25% of your final grade. The research paper must be uploaded to Turnitin on or before Sunday, 20 August. All right, so let's go to Turnitin now before I go any further to ensure that we're all on Turnitin. Let's come out of this. So let's spend some time doing some homework in terms of these, what I call house matters. All right, so all classes, this is international business, right? And persons have been uploading their tutorial paper. Don't think I'm going to ask you for a tutorial paper now. When I'm marking and I don't see it, and I just give you the 0 and move on. I'm not going to run it down because you're not babies. All right, so the tutorial papers are here. So far, I have from Shanique Samuels and Rachel Rose. All right, I think, all right, so Rachel's paper seemed to have improved. The research paper is actually no different from this paper. All right, it's not going to be any different from this. And this seems to have improved exponentially. All right. Is there anyone who is in the class who is not on Turnitin, who is not a part of the class on Turnitin? So let me look at students. Mario, Ramon, Rachel, and Shanique. Is there any other student who is not on a part? All right, so
Yes,
hold
sir.
on. All right, so hold on, Alex. Let me add your name. I can add you. Alex, what's your last name?
Campbell.
Campbell. Oh, you have to give me an email because I can't put it in here.
Campbell Alex.
ECC email, you know.
What I got again?
You can look it up.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I might not look up right now.
Yeah, because I have to be sure. You can copy and paste it in the chat so that I can see. Copy and paste it in the chat so that it's not incorrect. So I can look at it and put in the right thing.
All right. From this one.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so based on what I'm seeing, you don't get a submission for our work, right?
On Turnitin? No, I'm not
Yeah.
seeing it. I would actually see it. I'm seeing. So Alex Campbell, I don't see you post anything in the chat yet.
Sir, I try sir.
So it would be Alex. Alex dot, hold on, man, because you look like you know John
Alex
Shop.
dot Campbell.
Is it Alex dot Campbell what? What's the number?
02
at
my ECC.
At my, is it my.ecc.edu or my ECC?
Yeah, my.ecc.edu.
My, oh, what am I? I'm writing it in wrong. Writing it in there. So it is alex.campbell
02
at my.ecc.edu.jm. Let me just make sure that I have this correct. Submit. All right, so you're in the class. Let me add Christopher as well. Hold on. Which is wrong with my mouse? Add student. So this is Maurice. Follow. That's not follow. All right, so it's MAURIC.FOWLER. 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 Christopher. So this is Christopher. So it's going to be Christopher. No, this is not his thing. Christopher dot Johnson. So many students were not in the, my lord. All right, so this is Kayla. P-O-Y-S-E-R. So this is K-A-Y, Kayla dot P-O-Y-S-E-R. All right. And hold on. So how is it that so many students, mind you guys are some of you are in the class and you're asking me to add you again, you know. Be careful, you know, if you're in the class already. Because remember, some of you are already in the class. All right. All right. Okay, hold on. Okay. All right, tell me if you have received my email. Check and tell me.
Sir, I'm gonna get the email, you know. Up reload, but you know, forward up to it.
Got it, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who says that he didn't get the email?
Me, sir, I'm gonna get the date.
Tell me your name, sir. Not who. I don't know who's
Oh,
talking.
Alex Campbell.
Alex Johnson or Alex Campbell?
Alex Campbell, I've never said Johnson.
All right, so it's ALEX dot. Oh, I know I didn't get it. All right, so ALEX KMBLL. So it's Alex.
And I Kate started, no, sir. See.
I can spell, sir.
Oh,
You think after so many years, I can't spell Campbell? Really?
No.
I've been teaching
a while ago.
No. I'm talking to myself, sir. I mixed up something, so I know where I went wrong. So I need to take off this one. This is the wrong one. All right, and then no, go into Alex Campbell. Oh Lord, I never wanted to do that. All right. Where is ECC?
You just get it now.
You got it?
Yeah.
What does it say?
Log into your 13 account.
No, that's not the message.
Set up the account. Oh.
That's not the, oh, here it is. Dear Alex. Why does it have on this? All right, so I just sent you the entire paper, Alex.
All right, then.
All right, so now that we have worked out that part of it, let's now go to, I'm going to share back screen. Can I just take this off? Hold on, let me take something out. This crap. This, and this. Quit. All right, so share screen. All right, are you seeing my screen now, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so this, it says no, and I just sent the information to you. Working in pairs, select a theme from the list, from the following list, and prepare a research paper around this theme. The final paper must be typewritten, blah, 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 blah. Research paper should be no more than 10 pages long, between 1,000 to 2,000 words in length, The research paper must be uploaded to Turnitin on or before Sunday, August 29. Oh yes, I know why I went into Turnitin now is because I want you to see that I'm going to now create the research paper assignment. So this is assignments. You are to upload here in tutorial. So I'm going to create the research paper bin now. And remember, Wednesday, I think we have 3 or 4 sets of presentations because that's the final class on the presentation. All other classes after will focus primarily on the research paper. Research paper. We said it's due August 29th, which is a Sunday. So the post date is 31. Options. No repository. Yeah, that's all I want. Submit. So the assignment has been created. The students in the class are Mario Bailey, Wayne Barnes, Alex Campbell, Maurice Fowler, Ramon Grosset, Nisha Headlam, Christopher Johnson, Kayla Poyser, Rachel Rose, Shanique Samuel. So remember, you're doing the research paper in pairs. So only one person should upload. All right, so let us say that you are looking at this. Okay, so you're looking at, these are the themes. Yes.
So the tutorial paper at the top.
You asked me to, hold on, you're asking me too many questions. Do you want me to look at the tutorial paper or do you want me to look at the research paper?
Yeah, but my things say they got talk about the whole paper overall.
Yeah, but the tutorial paper is different. And why do I need to talk about the tutorial paper? You asked me to speak about the research paper. The tutorial paper is not the same thing as the research paper. All right, so tell me which one you want me to talk about.
No, it's all right. You can go ahead.
All right, so the research paper now. So don't confuse the two. The two are not the same. They have 2 different grades. So the research paper now. So these are what we call broad areas for you to come up with a thesis. Usually what I say to students, you take the broad area and usually you drop it into Google and see what comes up. So let us say you're looking at effects of, let's see what Google comes up with. Effects of, all right. So let me show you how you actually do some amount of research. All right, so you might go here and you see, you drop, notice I put in Google, effects of trade policies on international trade, right? The trade policy effect international, the case of Pakistan, the effects of trade policy, sharp open trade policy, economic effects of trade policy, trade reference center, Jamaica, trade policy, policy issues in international trade, and so forth. So what are the effects of trade policy? All right, so let's see this. So when discuss the evidence of trade policy, serious outcomes that include aggregate outcomes such as trade volumes and their price and the extensive margin of trade and the static aggregate gains from. All right, so the effects of trade policy, the National Bureau of Economic Research. All right, so we see a paper comes up. We have to look on the date. If it is current, this is 2016, so it's the current. Remember, I say you can't quote from a paper that is less than 10 years. So here they're giving us a large number of effects. But in your case, you can actually do it easy for yourself, right? You can look at the effects of trade policy. How do I phrase it? So the effects of trade policy, looking at the example, because usually you have to kind of skim through. So this says we focus on actual as opposed to hypothetical policy changes. We then discuss the effects of trade policy on a series of outcomes. Aggregate outcomes such as trade volumes and their price and quantity component, the extensive margin of trade. This happens when I'm talking too much. Labor market wages, All right, so in the case of trade policies, a question like this, can anybody name one trade policy? Can you name one trade policy, international trade policy? Can anybody name any trade policy? Remember, I'm trying to help you know, guys. So if you don't talk, I'm not going to talk either. There are so many students in the class and nobody's saying anything. Can anybody name any trade policy? We have looked at several trade policies in the class. If you want to Google and talk to me.
NAFTA.
So we have, all right, so let me just, for argument's sake, on a new sheet of paper. So we have NAFTA. What else we have other than NAFTA? NAFTA. Any other trade policy? I am listening. Any other trade policy? Okay, nobody's talking. Guys, I'm trying to help you, and we did discuss this in class. I heard NAFTA. Any other trade policy?
Sir, the Caribbean Base Initiative.
So we have Caribbean Base Initiative. All you even need to do, people, is to look at the course outline, which is called CBI. We looked at several trade policies on the course outline. You need to ensure that the trade policies that you're mentioning are on the course outline, okay? Any other trade policy?
Oh, sir, and remember when I was up on Canvas except unit 1.
Say that again?
So we're still not on Canvas except unit 1.
Please did you send an email, read that matter? Remember, I can't affect what you see, so you have to send an email. You can send it to the head of school, or you can send it to me and copy the head of school, but I can't touch. So those things have to be determined by the head of school and the ICT. And I told you guys to you have to send emails, people, right? Because when you tell me in class, I'm not going to always remember. Any other trade policy, people? Yes.
CARICOM Free Trade Agreement.
So we have the CARICOM. So we have CARICOM in other words. So and we have CARICOM Free Trade Agreement. All right. Any other trade policy? All you guys have to do is to go into Google and just type in international trade policies and they jump at you. And I'm not going to do it for you. So you're going to talk. I am listening, people. So you only know these. All right, let's work with them. So let us say you're looking at NAFTA, right? So we have effects of trade policies on international trade. And let us say that the international trade policy that you want to, or the trade policy that you want to look at is NAFTA. If I were you, I wouldn't look only at NAFTA. I'd probably look at NAFTA and another one. But for argument's sake, I'm going to say NAFTA. So in other words, you're going to rearrange this and say you're going to look at the effects of NAFTA on international trade. Do we understand that? So you rearrange it now because trade policy is very broad. Let me bring up the course outline because I'm not sure why you guys are not talking. Let's go into international business. All right, ECC. Do you have a copy of the course outline? I did put it up as well as email it, general. All right, you should be seeing. All right, are you seeing any trade policies on this? Any trade policies on this course outline?
Yep.
What are the different trade policies you're seeing there? What are the trade policies, people? Course outline is front of you know, so you can't say that you don't have help. Is the IMF a trade policy or is it an international organization?
Oh, sorry, so yeah, international organization.
I'm listening, people, to the trade policies. It's right in front of you now. So I'm not sure why you're not responding.
Sir, Kafka.
Sir, laughter, kafta, course. I can't pronounce that. Andean community.
We have the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation as well. Because there are trade policies cover agreements. So you can look at the African trade agreements as well, the different types. Not yet. I'm still in class. The different types. So we have NAFTA. What is the meaning of NAFTA again? What's the meaning of NAFTA?
Sir, the North American Free Trade Agreement.
What's the meaning of CAFTA?
Central America Free Trade Agreement.
All right. So we have two of them. So for argument's sake, let's go back to the question then. Okay, so we have, for this one, are we just working with what you said? NAFTA and CAFTA. So you're looking at what? The effects, right? So all you're looking at, is the effects of NAFTA and CAFTA on international trade. All right, now all you need to do for the effects now, people, is just to find two effects of NAFTA and two effects of CAFTA. If you choose to do NAFTA and CAFTA. Understand?
Yes, sir.
So let's try to stop sharing here and use the other sheet of paper. I have another Word document up. Oh, that's not it. All right, so share screen. So this is our rough paper, right? So we say, we're going to rewrite this now and say the effects, we still don't have the thesis yet, the effects of on international trade, but we can actually change this to on member states because once you said North American, it's international. So we can say on member states. We understand what you mean by member states, right? Do we understand that? We understand that, right, people? Hello, people talk to me now, guys. I'm trying to help you and you're not talking.
I think so.
Yes, so we have to spell it out now. So North American Free Trade Agreement, and then you put NAFTA in brackets. This is what? What is CAFTA again?
Central America Free Trade Agreement.
Central America Free Trade Agreement, right? And this is CAF, CAFTA. All right, so we still don't have the thesis yet because, right, this is where the thesis is going to come out, the effects. This is our root word. So we need 2 effects of NAFTA and 2 effects of CAFTA on member states. Again, all you need to do is to go into Google and type in effects of NAFTA on member states and effect of CAFTA on member states. So let's look at how we do that. Google. Let me share screen. Just kind of showing you how you do research, people. Go here. This is Google. Are you seeing my screen, guys? Are you seeing my screen? Right. So this is GOO. This is Google. So we say effects of NAFTA, and you're not stealing now, you're just looking at, you see, you can say look at the effects of NAFTA on Mexico, or let's just say the effects of NAFTA. The loss of these jobs is just so, all right. Do we see this part? Just a brief thing. It's just giving us a sense of what you can write about. The high price of free trade. NAFTA's failure has cost US jobs across the nation. So one of the effects is loss of jobs. So we can say one of the effects, this is still rough work, loss of jobs, right? That's one of the effects, right? Right, people? Let's go back. Notice I haven't cited the article yet because this article is 2003 because and therefore it's old. Notice I haven't lifted anything from it. I didn't steal any information and I just look at one of the effects. Let's go back now and see another effect of NAFTA. All right, what are the facts? Let's see. This sounds like it's going to get. All right, so this article is very current. It talks about all right, so increase in trade. So we can say another effect is increase in trade. Or we can say trade surplus, meaning that both countries are, we don't even need to look at it in terms of Central America because it's kind of similar. Or if you're, what you can say, all right, so there's a different way of how you can do it. What you can do here, people, in terms of the thesis, remember I tell you about writing a thesis, right? So we still don't have the essay yet. So let's just say that this is we want to write a thesis, right? We can look at, remember we said that we started, so the effects now. Loss of jobs and increase in trade surplus are 2 of the effects of, I'm not writing out this, all right, so I can copy and paste, of I can even say, let me take out the word thesis. I can say loss of job, increase in job variety, if I want, because if you lose job, you gain job too. And increase in surplus, in trade surplus are some of the effects of the North American Free Trade Agreement and the Central American Free Trade Agreement on member states. So this is my thesis. So you remember the thesis is the last sentence of the introduction. So I have the last sentence. Oh, you guys probably not seeing this. Let me share screen. I thought you were seeing it. Are you seeing my screen now? Do you see this is my thesis. Loss of jobs, increasing. So these are what I plan to develop in my paper. 1, 2, and 3. Increasing trade are some of the effects of the North American Free Trade Agreement and the Central American Free Trade Agreement on member states. I have a thesis for my paper. So remember now, for your topic sentences, you just say loss of jobs. So remember now, it's 2 persons, 1 person do 2 body paragraphs, the other person do 2 body paragraph, 1 person do the introduction and 1 do the conclusion, right? So you can look at the loss of jobs. So like first topic sentence could be, because loss of jobs or people losing their jobs is one of the effects of NAFTA on member states. That's one topic sentence. The other topic sentence could be increase in job variety is another effect of NAFTA on member states. Do we get the point now? Do we get the point in terms of how you're supposed to, this is an example of how you can, so this is the last sentence of your introduction. Remember the introduction as an opening background and the last sentence is the thesis. And actually you could look at, I wouldn't penalize it if you look at it in terms of only NAFTA alone. You probably could look at it in terms of only NAFTA and increase the number of points that you talk about here, if you want. Tell me if you're understanding, people.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay. Let's go back now to the research paper and I'm going to ask you to try one for yourself. All right, so I want for you to try one, choose any one and come up with an example. Let me put my example in the chat. So I've come up with a thesis. Notice I've kind of worked towards an actual thesis. I want for you to come up with choose another one and come up with a thesis for me. Is that clear? I'm going to put it in the breakout room. And only 2 persons. All right, so you're going to choose one and come up with a thesis, at least a thesis. Is that clear to everybody? Is that clear, guys? Talk to me, guys. You have to tell me. Is it clear? If it's clear, just go into the breakout room for me. And you're going to come up with your thesis just as how I came up with. Notice I moved from the effects of international policies on international trade. I worked that all the way to a thesis. That's what I want from you. So you're going to choose another one or even the same one, but come up with something different and at least come up with a thesis, okay? And I'm going to stop you at 8:15 so that I can show you how to do other parts of the paper. Hello?
Yes, sir.
All right, so please go into the breakout room. Maurice, you're not in a breakout room. Nisha is not in a breakout room. Rachel is not in a breakout room. Shanique is not in a breakout room. Wayne is not in a breakout room. Go into the breakout rooms and come up with a thesis. One thesis per pair. And stopping at 8:15. Maurice, you're not in the breakout room.
Shanique, which room are you in?
So I'm not sure. I'm traveling. I'm on the highway, so my internet is on and off.
All right, so I'm going to put you back in the room then.
All right, so we are out of the record room. All right, so Wayne, go ahead for me. You're in room 1. Go ahead, let's hear what you have. And it would be nice if you could actually post your thesis in the chat. So talk to us in terms of which number you chose and what is your thesis.
Yes, sir. So I chose what is it again? The role of global logistics in international trade.
All right, so the role of global logistics in international trade. All right, so what's the thesis? So that's that's the narrow topic. So it's really the roles of, not the role, the roles of global logistics in international trade. Very interesting.
So the thesis
Uh-huh.
is global logistics plays an important role in the international trade by connecting domestic economies to international market.
So
And
hold on. So connecting
critical, no, what did I say? Connecting domestic economies
domestic economies to, I'm typing, that's what I'm asking.
To the international market.
So I'll just say to international markets.
All right.
What else?
And ensuring critical supplies on time.
And ensures, connecting and ensuring, because you have to use the same continuous verb. Critical
supplies on time.
And ensuring critical supplies arrive on time. Okay, but that's 2. I think you need another one, because if you're doing the paper on your own, then it can do 2. But if you're going to do it to somebody else, they need 2 as well. So tell me if you're doing it on your own.
Well, I just did it on my own.
All right. So are you doing the paper on your own? Is this the area that you'd want to write about?
I'm not sure I said so. I'm just.
All right, but it's not bad. It's actually not bad. So the roles of global logistics in international trade. So connecting domestic economies to international markets, and ensuring the arrival of critical supplies. The arrival of critical supplies are 2 important roles. Global logistics, 2 critical roles of global logistics in international trade. All right, so let me show you what the thesis looks like in actuality. So I just tweak it a little for you. So connecting domestic economies to international markets and ensuring the arrival of critical supplies are 2 important roles of global logistics in international trade. This is it. Okay? And it therefore means that what would be your first topic sentence? What would be your first topic sentence?
And connecting domestic economies to international markets
is 1 important role of global logistics in international trade. That's how you'd phrase it, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right, so let's hear from the others. All right, room 2, Christopher and Shanique, talk to us. Christopher and Shanique. Christopher and Shanique, you guys are you there? Okay. All right, so room 3, Alex and Nisha, go ahead for me.
Comment, yeah. Sorry, sir.
All right, go ahead. Let's see
So
what's happening.
room 3 going on to hold on, I'm gonna pull up the yeah. Effects of trade policy on international trade,
Okay.
right?
And what's your thesis?
Yeah, if me pull up Axel, me I try to find it back in the notes something. Hold on a second, and then wait there, I just write it down, you know, I'm putting on the phone here.
Well, normally what I do, I send it as a WhatsApp message. That's what you should have done.
No, I know it's me write it, man. Hold on a minute. Looking at delete. Oh, see the like this. All right. So effects of trade policies on trade, international trade. Find it back. On that was the one that on NAFTA, North America.
You can't do NAFTA. I did that one in class. Or can you repeat what I did in class? You're supposed
No
to choose
man,
your
we
own.
have different topic things, sir.
All right, so let's hear it then. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
man.
for.
Some of the major effects of the NAFTA trade member states.
All right, hold on. Some of the major
effects of the NAFTA trade on the NAFTA
of NAFTA
trade on member states.
On member states.
Yeah. One dislocation of number point 1.
You don't say point, you have to put it's one sentence. Yeah. So some of the major effects of the NAFTA on member states include the dislocation
of families.
Dislocation families. I'm not sure how this reached into trade, but anyways, dislocation of families. All right, Lord Jesus, me just say talk for me, no?
All right. Forcing of workers to accept lower wages.
All right, so forcing of workers to accept
of lowered wages.
And
bad work, not bad, let's say, unsuitable working conditions for locals in other markets.
And
unsuitable working conditions.
So this one fix up. I hope you're not thieving the entire thing from a paper. Because you're supposed
to. From which paper? No, sir. For do that, man, I'm not tell a different thing, man.
No, I'm hoping what you're saying to me is not you didn't read it somewhere.
Oh, no.
So you're
Look up-
supposed
look
to
up-
read, but you're supposed to kind of allow the reading to inform your. Anyways, so some of the major effects of NAFTA on member states include the dislocation of families, forcing of workers to accept lowered wages, and workers doing work in on and conducting, let's say, on conducting work in unsuitable
Condition.
working conditions. I didn't want to write working conditions. All right, so let's see. All right, so let's work with it. I'm sure if you do some more reading, probably you'll probably tweak.
Yeah, man, the tone change up that.
So this is how it
Change
looks. This is how it looks. Some of the major effects of NAFTA on member states include the dislocation of families, forcing of workers to accept lower wages, and conducting work in unsuitable working conditions. I can do some tweaking, but for now it can work. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks, Alex. Let's go now to room 4, Kayla and Maurice. Let's see what you have. Talk to us.
So did the importance of international trade and global logistics.
All right, hold on. So you did international trade and global logistics. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
All right. So the thesis is contribution to the development of global
So contributing to the development
of local economy.
Of global or local?
Local.
Local economies.
Let me see that one. Okay.
Access to more foreign investment opportunity.
Accessing foreign direct investment.
Foreign investment opportunity.
So accessing foreign investment. Well, it doesn't have to be foreign direct investment. So foreign investment opportunities. All right, let's working. And
increase on total global welfare.
And increasing global welfare.
Are some of the importance
Are some of the importance of
global logistics and international trade.
Global logistics in international trade. It can be and international in international trade. So you need to ensure that it can be global logistics and international trade. All right. So in other words, it's not how it is phrased here. That's how you're going to say it. Global. So global. When it says international trade and global logistics, just as how I don't remember who made a point about connecting domestic economies to international markets and ensuring the arrival of critical supplies are two important roles of global logistics, international trade. This actually combines the two. You're not treating them as different. Okay?
Okay, sir.
All right. So what you need to do is let me just show you how it looks in reality. You need to look back to see if it reflects the theme. So can you tell me, for example, are some of the importance of global logistics? So you're saying that global logistics contribute to the development of local economies, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're saying that global logistics contributes to accessing foreign investment opportunities.
Yes, sir.
And you're saying that increasing global logistics in international trade contributes to increase global welfare.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're saying these things. I hope you can prove them, all right? But what I like is the fact that you understand how to write a thesis statement. And it means that you would therefore understand how to write your topic sentences. People, this is the same thing that you're doing in your tutorial paper. It's the same thing, it's just that one paper is longer than the other. It's the same thing you're doing in your tutorial paper. All right, so, and I know you know how to write your topic sentences, and I'm sure now you can actually start working, start doing some additional reading and so forth, and kind of start fleshing out and figuring out exactly where you want to go with your paper. Can I now call back again on Christopher and Shanique? Are you guys there? Everybody else has commented and I've given them some amount of feedback. If they even want, they can keep what they have suggested so far or tweak it or whatever. I haven't heard from Christopher and Shanique. I'm calling again on them. Any response? No response. All right. The other thing that I'm going to comment on, and notice I'm not teaching any new topic today, is how to cite information in your paper. All right, how to cite information in your paper. All right, so I'm going to put it in the chat. 3 ways to cite a source in a paper. 1, direct quote. 2, paraphrase. And 3, summarize. All right. So these are 3 ways to cite a paper cite a source in a paper. So let's APA citation, 7th edition. Let me save this thing. I just want to find a quick video that kind of in-text citation. I hope this is not a little stupid video. You know? I usually have my own videos, but I think that woman was not talking sensible stuff. Let's see this one.
This is Humber Library's APA in Minutes. This video will show you the basics on how to create an in-text citation in APA format so that it will look something like this.
All right, so it is called in-text citation. Before I show you the video, let me just do the lecture first, because I actually have a lecture on it. It's called in-text citation. When you're going to quote a source inside the body of your paper, it's called in-text citation. Where did I put it? International. Did I put it under general? No, but I know oh yes, academic writing. It's called in-text citation, people. And let me share my screen. It's very important that you understand in-text citation. And as I said to you before, there are 3 ways of how you cite a source, all right? 3 ways to cite a source. I'm not going through all of this madness. Let me just get, all right, so a bank is a source. So a source, a place, situation, reservoir, or site from which commodities are accessed. In other words, where you got the information. All right, don't want to get into all of this. So the essay requires you to write from sources, give credit to these sources, adhere to rules and conventions which govern academic writing. And I just want to get right to the meat of the matter. They're kind of giving all the kinds of madness here. Lord, why can't we just get to the point? Right, here it is. Present your sources using a variety of the following. Summarize, paraphrase, and directly quote. You determine which one you want to use. And it's APA 7th edition. Oh, God, the lecture finished, which is absolute madness. Why can't I find a very good lecture on this thing?
Or this.
All right, so let's look at it. Share screen. Do you understand what I just shared? Understand what I just shared? I just want you to understand first the 3 ways of how you cite sources. You can directly quote, paraphrase, or you can summarize. All right, and that is what I expect to see in your paper. All right, so let's listen, and then we can look at some examples.
This is Humber Library's APA in Minutes. This video will show you the basics on how to create an in-text citation in APA format so that it will look something like this, or this. Any time that you paraphrase or quote someone else's words or ideas within the body of your paper, you must give credit to the original author with an in-text citation. An in-text citation is a short citation that refers the reader to the full reference at the end of a paper. A basic in-text citation will commonly include the author's last name, year of publication, and the page number where the information
I
was
don't
found.
require the page number,
When quoting
but
an
I
author's
want you to
exact
put the author's last name and the year of publication, and it's going to tell you how to do that.
words, place quotation marks around the text, then include your in-text citation.
All
Begin
right,
with
so
the
for direct quotation, you must not quote more than 40 words. You don't quote over 40 words, and I will count them. And if you quote over 40 words, it's going to be incorrectly cited, and I will mark it out, okay? Because I'm teaching you how to do it. It's not as if I'm not teaching you how to do it. So no more than 40 words for direct quotation, and you're only quoting the exact words of the author that are relevant to your point that you're trying to prove in the paper. Okay, and we're going to look at examples.
the author's last name, comma, the year of publication, comma, and the page that the text was found on, preceded by the letter P and a period. Surrounding parentheses.
Parentheses means brackets. As I said, you don't have to put the page number. I don't want to get into that kind of detail with you guys. I just want you to have just basic demonstration of in-text citation.
And always place your period after your in-text citation. If you summarize an author's ideas using your own words, this is a paraphrase. A paraphrase still requires an in-text citation. When paraphrasing, you do not include quotation marks. Following a paraphrase, begin your in-text citation with the author's last name, comma, the year of publication, then surround in parentheses. Always place your period after your in-text citation.
All right, please remember what paraphrase means is that it is your own interpretation of what the author has said. Some students, what they do is that they don't paraphrase, they change 2 or 3 words and think they're paraphrasing and they pass it off. Turnitin will tell me if you have plagiarized. So please, paraphrase means that you're putting the author's original thought in your own words. It can even be longer than a paraphrase can even be longer than the quote or the source you're citing from. All right?
It's important to note that page numbers are not necessary when paraphrasing. So far, our examples of a paraphrase and a direct quote have had the author's name and date in parentheses at the end of the sentence. This is what APA refers to as a parenthetical in-text citation. Alternatively, you can use a narrative citation. As this example shows, when you mention the author's name in a sentence, always include the date of publication after the name.
So what they're showing you now is where the author's name can come at the end in terms of the in-text citation. Notice it's at the end here. On the other side, it comes at the beginning, and they're showing you how to do it.
As a parenthetical.
But this is a parenthetical in-text citation. They have all kind of name for it because I know different names for this thing. But let's work with it. It's a parenthetical in-text citation. Let us look at the narrative version now.
Alternatively, you can use a narrative citation. As this example shows, when you mention the author's name in a sentence, always include the date of publication after the name. Place the page number in parentheses at the end of your sentence, followed by a period, to complete the in-text citation. You do not need to repeat the author's name or date. For 2 authors, use an ampersand after the first author's name if it appears in parentheses.
All right, so this sign that we call and, the correct name is ampersand, okay?
When you are using the 2 authors' names in a sentence, you should use the full word and. For 3 or more authors, follow the first author's name with the words et al. Followed by a period, meaning and others. If there's no known author, include a shortened title in place of the author's name. If your source does not include page numbers, indicate the paragraph where you found the information by using the abbreviation para followed by a period. Your reference list will be on its own page at the end of your paper and will contain the full citation information. Make sure to put your citations in alphabetical order. Don't forget to double space and indent after the first line. For more information and
All
support.
right. Do we understand this? It's just a simple introduction. Do we understand this, people? Hello, why you guys don't answer, yo? That's Christ. I'm asking if you understand and nobody's responding.
Yes, sir.
All right, this is, I'm going to put the link in. All right, so let's look at an example using the same paper. Okay, so I'm going to make up something now, guys, so you can't. All right, so let us say that, where's my original topic sentence, right? Let us say that this is my thesis and I have my introduction. So this is my thesis. So the paper is on loss of, what was my original thought? So I need a strong opening. Remember the introduction as an opening. So effects of North American trade agreement. So since I might open by saying, after World War II, over 50 international trade agreements were signed among countries, let's just say in the Western Hemisphere. You know, I'm making this up, in the Western Hemisphere. Does it sound like it should come from a source? Should this come from a source? After World War II, over 50 international trade agreements were signed among countries in the Western Hemisphere. Should this come from a source?
Yes, sir.
Because, yeah, it has to, because this is a statement of fact. So it has to come from a source. So remember they said last name. So I might say Brown. I remember I said no less than 10 years old. So let me say 2015. All right. This is what they call the parenthesis in-text citation because it comes at the end. This is, so I'm trying to kind of writing an introduction. Let me just put the word introduction here. I'm kind of, as I said, people, I'm making it up now. So don't quote this introduction because none of this is actually based in fact. Because I haven't done the requisite. Let me just remove these full stop, these lines. Trade surplus. All right. What the? All right, so I'm trying to write my introduction. So after World War II, over 50 international trade agreements were signed among countries in the Western Hemisphere. Some of these countries include Canada. Oh, no, I wouldn't want to, no, let me leave this sentence. I would want to say, some examples of trade agreements include, what were the two that were mentioned above? Let me just teeth them. The Caribbean Basin Initiative included, because it's past tense, the Caribbean Basin Initiative signed between the USA and the Caribbean in the 1980s. This is actually true. When I did my first degree in the 1980s, some examples of trade in our Caribbean Basin Initiative. The carry What they call, what did we call our Caribbean thing again? And no, what was that discussion? We had this big discussion in the Caribbean about trade. Caribbean single market and economy. Yes, that's what they call it. The Caribbean single market and economy. CSME, right. CSME. And the central, give me another trade agreement in the Western Hemisphere. I'm going to make up something. Hold on. I'm going to teach you guys, you need to, how to do actual research. Google. All right. Let's say free, that's a free trade. Let's say trade agreement. I'm just quickly Googling, people. Trade agreements in the Western Hemisphere. HEMES, because I don't want to put the two that I'm going to talk about yet. CAFTA, what we do CAFTA already. Yeah. Okay, we can say the Asia Pacific. A while ago, people, but I'm back. Are you seeing my screen? Just indicate if you're seeing my screen.
Yes, sir.
So some examples of trade agreements included, some examples of these trade agreements included the Caribbean Basin Initiative signed between the US and the Caribbean in the 1980s, the Caribbean Single Market and Economy, and the European Union. Other agreements closer, other agreements specific to North and South America are, let me see, let's say, I'm just going to copy all of this because I'm not typing out this madness, are the North American As I said, you could write about one instead of writing about both. These agreements, because I'm looking at effects, had and continue to impact their member states. These impacts include, notice I'm going to change my introduction now. Loss of jobs, increase in job variety, and an increase in trade surplus. Do I have my introduction? That's my introduction. Notice I changed my because I have to, what you call, it's called cohesion, where there's flow in your introduction. So after World War II, please remember this is a makeup thing, so don't cite it as being the best thing, okay? After World War II, over 50 international trade agreements were signed among countries in the Western Hemisphere. So remember, you have to determine how. This is the opening of my introduction. This is the opening of my introduction, and this is the close. I close with my thesis. And in the middle is what is called the background. This is the background. These are my background sentences. Let's kind of, can we put a little color there for the background sentences? These are my background sentences. One opening, how many backgrounds? This is about 2 background sentences and a thesis statement. So after World War II, over 50 international trade agreements were signed among countries in the Western Hemisphere. Some examples of the trade agreements included the Caribbean Basin Initiative signed between the United States and the Caribbean in the 1980s, the Caribbean Single Market and Economy, and the European Union. Other agreements specific to North and South America are the North American Free Trade Agreement and the Central, it's not South American, and Central America, because it's Central we're talking about, right, people? So this word should be Central. And Central America. Other agreements specific to North and Central America are the North American Free Trade Agreement and the Central American Free Trade Agreement. These agreements had and continue to impact their member states. These impacts include loss of jobs, increase in job variety, and increase in trade surplus. Do I have an introduction? Then now I get into the body. So loss of jobs is one of the effects of NAFTA on member states. Then I develop, and remember I showed you how to, what's the approach to your body paragraph? What is it, the structure I told you to use for your body paragraph? Does anybody remember the structure for how to develop a body paragraph? Does anybody remember how to develop a?
Start with the thesis, like the first topic.
The top, so you remember the approach is T-E-A. The T-E-A?
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right, T-A. All right, so let's look at that again, because it's as if some persons forget. And that is what I'm marking you for in your body paragraph. Which one should I use? Here's my video. All right, here
Topic,
it is.
sentence, evidence, and analysis.
Right. So let's look at it.
Will need to be written.
So now we're looking at how to develop the body paragraph, and I showed you how to do in-text citation. What I haven't done in detail is how to do the reference list. So let's listen.
For every major assessment in world history, you will be asked an extended response question that will need to be written in a specific format, a T paragraph. The format of this paragraph is also very effective when writing body paragraphs for essays. In a T paragraph, every letter of T refers to a specific element of the paragraph. The T is the topic sentence, the E is the evidence in the paragraph, and the A is the analysis needed in the paragraph. For this example, we will be working with an example essay question. The printing press was a very important invention in the Western world. Explain how it impacted learning in Europe. Be sure to give specific examples. A topic sentence is simply a sentence that covers the main idea of a paragraph. I know you have written these before. Remember, the rules you learned about writing in English class apply to writing in other classes. Paragraphs need the topic sentence as a signal to the reader, telling what your paragraph is about. Don't forget the topic sentence should be written in third person. Also, be as specific as you can in the topic sentence about what evidence you are going to present. Notice the topic sentence, highlighted in green, shows you the paragraph is about the printing press and also includes evidence I will include in my answer. Encourage scholarly research, spread of religious ideas, and increase the public's knowledge. Evidence is the information you will include to explain the topic. In an English essay, your evidence is often a quote from the novel you're reading. In a social studies
So remember I said the evidence in your case must be 2. You must have 2 to 3 pieces of evidence in each body paragraph. And remember I did say that the evidence comes from sources, and the sources cannot be over 10 years old, okay?
The evidence might be a quote, but it also might be a fact or statistic. A good rule of thumb about how much evidence for you to use is 3 pieces of evidence per paragraph. In most situations, that's an appropriate amount of support to inform the reader. If you're ever uncertain, ask your teacher. In this paragraph, the evidence is highlighted in blue. Sometimes my evidence was a couple of sentences long.
So notice no. So when I look at your body paragraph, even for your tutorial paper, I should look and be able to identify the 2 to 3 pieces of evidence. And if you notice, it is in blue because the other part is that is in white and the color is going to change is what is called the analysis. And the analysis is now how you link each piece of evidence to your topic sentence. Let's listen.
And sometimes it was only part of a sentence. It is okay for you to have that kind of variety in the evidence you use. Analysis is sometimes a difficult topic to grasp. For a social studies response, analysis is often a description of the meaning or the impact of your evidence. Looking at our paragraph response, the analysis is highlighted in purple. The analysis sentences and phrases explain how the facts about the printing press, like how many books were published, or what type of texts were published, impacted the people of Europe. One last element to add to your T paragraph, if you have the time, is a concluding sentence which wraps up the paragraph. In our example paragraph, the last sentence in pink draws a final conclusion about how all the evidence and analysis about the printing press impacted Europe.
All right, let me just bring it back a little, just a little. Do we understand this, people? So you notice the TEA, topic, sentence, evidence, and analysis. And the last sentence kind of pulls everything together. So this is really what I'm marking for in both your tutorial paper and your research paper. All right, so please, we have about 3 presentations on Wednesday. And then after that, no, you should be working on your research paper. Please remember, I prefer if you do it in pairs because I think your strengths and weaknesses kind of, you know, level off when you're working with somebody, or level out, as somebody would say. All right. Do we understand how to somewhat approach the body paragraph? No, I've just shown you again how to write an introduction. And if you want, I can share the paper that I just wrote the introduction with. Please remember the introduction that I wrote was made up. It's quite fictitious. The information in there is not factually correct, but it was just to demonstrate to you how you go about writing a body paragraph. Hello?
Yes, sir.
All right. And if anything, if persons want to come, persons who are not presenting, or you want to email me your thesis and your topic sentence and even your introduction, if you have done your presentation already on your paper, you can do that. All right. Any other questions or anything anybody wants to talk to me after the class?
Sir, with the presentation with Mario, I try to communicate with him that he can send me the work or submit it, but I'm not hear from him, sir. I don't know how he wants to be.
Well, ensure you do your part. That's what is important.
I'll try calling him back tomorrow still, sir. I'm making it.
Okay. All right. And if you're not getting him, post it in the chat in the WhatsApp groups that I can reach out to him. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Any other questions or comments before we go?
That's it.
That's it. Have a good night, everybody. See you guys on Wednesday. Keep safe until I see you on Wednesday, okay?
Perfect.
All right. Alex, everything is okay for you now? I think he left. I think you were asking some questions. Clearer for you now?
Yes. Yeah, no, sir. Everything is straight, but I just one thing you want to ask, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
About, at the first part, we talk about the research paper. They talk about, they explain that to me, but at the top part, we have a tutorial. Remember, say, I never did learn everything. It can be coming late.
All right, so let's
find out about, but
all right, so let me share a screen. Let me share a screen and I'll stay back and explain to you. All right. All right. So let me scroll up. You're seeing my screen, right?
Yeah, man. I see it, sir.
All right. So you are critically examine, right? Critically examine the different strategies that a business may use to go international. It's the same approach. Come up with your thesis, write your introduction, write about, in this case, you only need 2 body paragraphs. So you need an
Okay.
introduction, 2 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. That's all you need. So that's a four-part paragraph essay for this question.
Okay.
Right. So critically examine the different strategies that a business may use to, and I did discuss this already in class. So all you need to do is just to choose 2 of the different business strategies that companies, that a business may use to go international, whether it be licensing, franchising, or venturing, whatever it is. You just need to
Yes,
choose
sir.
only 2 and just develop it into a paper. What you can do, if anything, you can jot down some things tomorrow and send to me and I'll respond.
All right, then, sir.
And remember, the paper is not due tomorrow. What is due tomorrow is a presentation.
The
And
presentation.
then I give you feedback and you go and fix the paper and then you upload, okay?
All right, then, sir.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
Everything
sir.
okay, you know?
Yes, sir.
All right. So have a good night, everybody.
All right.
Cool.